Jack was an orphan who had been abandoned by his parents at a young age and left to fend for himself in a small village on the edge of a vast, uncharted forest. Despite his difficult circumstances, Jack was a bright and resourceful young boy with a fierce sense of adventure. He had always dreamed of exploring the forest and discovering its secrets, despite the warnings of the villagers who believed the forest to be a dangerous and mysterious place. Growing up, Jack had to work hard to survive, taking on whatever odd jobs he could find in the village to earn enough food and shelter. He was often mistreated and taken advantage of, and he longed for a place where he belonged and could be free. Despite these hardships, Jack never lost hope and always dreamed of a better life. One day, while out exploring the forest, Jack stumbled upon a mysterious, ancient tree known as the Eldergleam. The Eldergleam was said to have magical properties that could grant wishes and provide guidance to those who sought it out, but it was also guarded by powerful forces that kept it hidden from the rest of the world. Intrigued, Jack decided to investigate and soon found himself on a thrilling journey through the heart of the forest. As he traveled deeper into the forest, Jack encountered a number of challenges that tested his courage and resourcefulness. He had to navigate through dense undergrowth, avoid predators such as wolves and bears, and solve puzzles and riddles left behind by the Eldergleam's guardians. Despite these challenges, Jack was determined to reach the Eldergleam and uncover its secrets. As he journeyed through the forest, Jack met a wise old hermit who had lived in the forest for many years and knew its secrets. The hermit took Jack under his wing and taught him about the magic of the forest as well as the dangers that lurked within. As Jack learned from the hermit, he also developed his skills in magic and survival. The hermit taught Jack how to harness the power of the forest, using its energy and resources to his advantage. He showed Jack how to find food and shelter in the wilderness, how to heal wounds and ailments with herbs and magic, and how to communicate with the animals of the forest. The hermit also taught Jack how to defend himself and his companions against the dangers of the forest, including predators and dark magic. He trained Jack in sword fighting and archery, and taught him how to cast spells and use magical artifacts. As Jack's training with the hermit came to an end, he was a skilled and confident young magician, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. He was determined to use his new skills and knowledge to protect the Eldergleam and the forest and to find his true home and his place in the world. But their journey was far from over. As Jack and his companions traveled deeper into the forest, they were pursued by a wicked sorceress who was determined to claim the Eldergleam's magic for herself. The sorceress, who was jealous of the elf princess's beauty and power, would stop at nothing to capture the princess and use her as leverage to get what she wanted. Jack and his companions had to use all of their wits and courage to evade the sorceress and reach the Eldergleam, where they hoped to find the answers to Jack's true identity and his place in the world. When they finally reached the Eldergleam, they were confronted by a group of powerful guardians who were sworn to protect the tree and its magic. The guardians revealed that the Eldergleam was not just a magical tree, but a symbol of hope and guidance for all who sought it out. They also revealed that Jack had a special connection to the Eldergleam, one that he had never suspected. Overcome with emotion, Jack realized that the Eldergleam had been guiding him on his journey all along, and that his hardships had only made him stronger and more determined. With the magic of the Eldergleam at his fingertips, Jack knew that he could finally find his true home and his place in the world. But their journey was far from over. Just as Jack and his companions were about to celebrate their victory, the wicked sorceress appeared and attacked them, determined to claim the Eldergleam's magic for herself. In the ensuing battle, the hermit was killed defending Jack and the others, and the sorceress was able to escape with the Eldergleam's magic. Heartbroken and grief-stricken, Jack and his companions vowed to track down the sorceress and stop her before she could do any more harm. They knew that the road ahead would be long and difficult, but with the strength of their bond and the memory of the hermit's bravery to guide them, they were determined to bring justice to the forest and protect the Eldergleam's magic at all costs. As they set out on their new adventure, Jack and his companions knew that they would face many challenges and obstacles along the way, but they also knew that they had the courage, strength, and magic to overcome them. Together, they were unstoppable, and they were determined to make the most of every day, knowing that they had each other and the magic of the Eldergleam to guide them. As they set out on their new adventure, Jack and his companions knew that they would face many challenges and obstacles along the way, but they also knew that they had the courage, strength, and magic to overcome them. Together, they were unstoppable, and they were determined to make the most of every day, knowing that they had each other and the magic of the Eldergleam to guide them. The next chapter of their journey was about to begin, and they were ready for whatever lay ahead. The sorceress had retreated to her dark, hidden lair in the heart of the forest, where she had been plotting her revenge for years. She was determined to use the Eldergleam's magic to bend the world to her will, and she would stop at nothing to achieve her goal. Jack and his companions knew that they had to act quickly and decisively if they were to stop the sorceress and save the forest. They spent months gathering information and resources and planning their attack. They sought out allies in the forest, including powerful magical creatures and ancient spirits who had been guarding the Eldergleam for centuries. As they prepared for battle, Jack and his companions faced their own personal challenges and doubts. They had to confront their fears, overcome their differences, and learn to trust each other if they were to succeed. But they also knew that they had a greater purpose, one that transcended their own desires and needs. They were fighting for the future of the forest and for the magic of the Eldergleam that had guided them on their journey. Finally, the day of the battle arrived, and Jack and his companions set out to face the sorceress and her dark minions. The battle was fierce and intense, and many lives were lost on both sides. But in the end, Jack and his companions emerged victorious, thanks to their bravery, their teamwork, and the magic of the Eldergleam that had guided them all along. The sorceress was defeated, and the Eldergleam's magic was restored to its rightful place. Jack and his companions were hailed as heroes, and the forest rejoiced in their victory. Jack had finally found his true home and his place in the world, and he knew that he would always be grateful to the Eldergleam, the hermit, and his companions for their guidance and support. As Jack looked back on his journey, he knew that he had come a long way from the lonely, abandoned orphan he had once been. He had found his family, his purpose, and his destiny in the heart of the forest, and he knew that he would always be grateful for the magic that had brought him there.